The rise to prominence of Todd and Julie Chrisley began almost a decade ago with the debut of their reality television show, Chrisley Knows Best, which aired on the USA Network in March of 2014. The self-proclaimed real estate magnates welcomed guests inside their house in Atlanta and gave them a glimpse into their family life, which revolves primarily around their 4 children, namely Lindsay, Chase, Savannah, and Grayson. After Todd and Julie were recently charged with criminal offenses, it is possible that the show Chrisley Knows Best, which is the most-watched original series on USA Network, will take on a new shape. According to the indictment, Todd and Julie were found guilty on several counts on June 7th, including conspiracy to defraud banks out of more than $30 million in false personal loans, conspiring to cheat the IRS, and tax evasion. Other charges included conspiring to defraud banks out of more than $30 million in fraudulent business loans. Julie was found guilty of a total of 10 crimes, including 8 charges of financial fraud, 2 counts of tax evasion, and 2 counts each of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. To be honest, neither Todd Chrisley nor his wife Julie were just facing a single allegation between them. After their former business partner, Mark Braddock, collaborated with the FBI to explain how the 2 TV personalities had filed loans under false pretenses and even used new loans to pay off old loans, there were a large number of charges that had been related to them. The charges had been tied to them after their former business partner, Mark Braddock, had explained how the 2 TV personalities had done this. It was revealed in the courtroom that Todd, with the assistance of a business partner, had devised a scheme to make it appear as though he possessed a bank account with $4 million in it, despite the fact that no such account actually existed. In addition, the Chrisleys had a financial obligation to the government in the form of past taxes and other payments. The lawsuit states that prior to their appearances on Chrisley Knows Best, Todd and Julie submitted fake bank statements, audit reports, and personal financial statements to banks in order to secure financial assistance. When Todd was unable to pay his debts, which totaled $20 million, he filed for bankruptcy. According to the reports, the same activity occurred once again. It is now clear that the couple, who are well known for their roles on the hit television show Chrisley Knows Best, squandered the money they fraudulently got through the purchase of fancy vehicles, fashionable clothing, real estate, and vacations. It was determined that the Chrisleys' accountant, Peter Tarantino, was responsible for filing fake corporate tax returns on behalf of the Chrisleys' business. Carrie Farley, the special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Atlanta, was quoted as saying in a statement that justice is blind as to your celebrity, your riches, and your position when someone lies, cheats, or steals. There is a possibility that each member of the Chrisley group will spend as much as 30 years behind bars. The sentencing hearing will take place on October 6th, according to the United States District Judge Eleanor L. Ross, who is assigned to the Northern District of Georgia. An email sent out on behalf of the couple was sent with the subject line, "Disappointed in the ruling," which was sent by Bruce Howard Morris, an attorney for Todd Chrisley. An appeal is going to be organized. The attorneys for Mr. Tarantino have not responded quickly to demands for comment. In spite of the Chrisleys' self-presentation as successful businesses who achieved their success on their own, the indictment against the pair alleges that a significant portion of their fortune was the result of fraudulent activity. The prosecution states that in order to get loans, for instance, they used a bank statement that falsely said they had $4 million at Merrill Lynch, despite the fact that they did not even have an account with the bank. According to the charge, Mr. Chrisley used his accountant to execute actions that he himself said would be crooked, and Miss Chrisley regularly utilized adhesive and tape to alter documents. Both of these actions are considered to be illegal. According to the Department of Justice, the pair used the money from loans to purchase expensive cars, fashionable clothes, real estate, and vacations, even though they filed for bankruptcy and walked away from more than $20 million in loans at the same time. According to the indictment, they failed to make on-time payments to the Internal Revenue Service for the fiscal years 2013 through 2016. After being found guilty of fraud and tax evasion, the opulent lifestyles of Chrisley Knows Best patriarch and matriarch Todd and Julie Chrisley will be put on hold as they await their punishment. The Chrisleys were found to have engaged in fraudulent activity and evaded taxes. As a direct response to Todd's behavior, Mark disclosed the rumors that he and Todd have been having an affair shortly before handing over the Chrisleys to the FBI for tax fraud. Mark admitted in his testimony that he was complicit in the years-long deception perpetrated by the Chrisleys. Since Mark's confession, Todd, age 53, and Julie, age 49, have been in and out of court multiple times. In a long response, Todd refuted the allegations while pointing out that his former employee was looking for retribution. Despite this, Todd's declaration did not halt the investigations, which ultimately resulted in both him and Julie being found guilty of all charges. The couple watched as their reputation was tarnished in the media as a result of the news about their conviction making headlines. It has recently come to light that the convictions handed down to Todd and Julie have had an effect on the way they live their lives. According to a source who spoke with Us Weekly about the tumultuous couple's potential future, there isn't much point in Todd and Julie making plans for the future until they find out the sentence in the fall, because their plans are pretty much on hold until then. The verdict comes as a shock to them, as they did not anticipate being found guilty. The news is really upsetting. That single event altered the course of their entire lives. According to the information provided by the source, Todd and Julie Chrisley are in complete and utter disbelief about the future of their reality show, as well as any other projects they may be working on at this time. Because Todd and Julie are required to remain inside their home, it will be extremely difficult to capture anything that takes place outside of their residence. The source also revealed that Todd and his wife are pretending that they are living in the year 2020, even though the pandemic has compelled them to remain indoors. Shortly after Todd and Julie's verdict was announced, it was revealed that production on Chrisley Knows Best Season 10 had not yet gotten underway. In addition, the 9th season of the show was shot before the trial, which means that the proceedings of the couple's trial and the verdict will not be shown on the show. Nevertheless, it is unknown at this time when the shooting will pick up again, with Todd and Julie being held captive. In light of the information provided by the source, it's possible that Chrisley Knows Best fans will be put on hold for some time. The fact that Todd and Julie are now shooting their family's reality television series is probably the least of their concerns, given the number of things that are undoubtedly going through their heads right now. Even though the couple's attorneys have stated their intention to appeal the verdict, many of their supporters are concerned that they will be sentenced to a significant amount of time behind bars. It is currently unknown whether or not Todd and Julie will file an appeal, and, if they do, whether or not it will result in their recovering their freedom. Everyone who has any interest in the proceedings will be paying close attention to the events as they take place. It remains to be seen if Todd and Julie will eventually appeal and whether it will lead to them regaining their freedom. Everyone interested in the proceedings will be watching closely as developments unfold. Well, that's it from this video. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of our content, please subscribe to our channel. We're so glad to have you here with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.